Hello there. Today I haven't got a junk journal reveal for you, but I just decided I'd talk about something that I find interesting and difficult in equal measure as a beginner in the junk journal world. Just the sort of material that you kind of need for your junk journals. Now, I only started basically a couple of months ago or something like that with junk journaling, and I've always admired the book pages that people include in their junk journals. And I mean, there's a few classics that everybody seems to use, and I don't really have to talk about them very much. For instance, the Edith Holden book, I've used that as well. And the Natural History of Britain and Northern Europe series, which has really nice pictures as well. And then there is this massive classic, The Wildflowers, really fantastic book with lots of beautiful botanical drawings. But I mean, these are the kind of classics that I've seen used and shown in a few videos so far, but it's the kind of book that you'd be very lucky to come across if you were going through a thrift shop or a charity shop. I mean, I basically had to order those on Amazon and pay between, let's say, 5 and 10 euro, including the postage, for each of these books. So I thought I'd share with you what I have actually found in thrift shops. And there is actually quite a bit of stuff out there that doesn't really just look like these or contains only just botanicals like that. Sometimes those books are a bit more like encyclopedias or something like that. So anyway, I thought I'd share with you what I found. I picked up this book for, I think it was something like €1.50, and yeah, very tattered indeed, and sometimes not in particularly good condition. But this book, I mean, has lots of colourful drawings of animals, which is quite useful. And for, well, €1 or €1.50, whatever it was, I think this book isn't really that bad a deal. Another one I picked up for literally just €1 there is this one, British Wildlife Companion. And again, this has really nice big botanical drawings in there, lots of photographs as well, but there are plenty of pages that have kind of wildlife scenes like this, and then there's geographical stuff like I mean, I suppose there's more like culture than geography, but I think this is quite nice for tags and stuff where you just cut things out. I mean, this page obviously could be used for a bigger book page as well. So anyway, for €1, certainly not to be sniffed at. And then this is actually one of my favorites. I absolutely adore this. Not only because I adore New Zealand, most beautiful country in the world, and I was so pleased when I got this for, well, for €3 apparently. But again, this was a thrift shop find in Oxfam actually, and this book is just absolutely stunning. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just absolutely beautiful. These pictures are, well, more or less nice enough to actually just put into a frame as is. In a way, it's a bit of a shame to cut this out and, you know, put it into a junk journal, but then again, it's quite beautiful. Oops, we may have a visitor here. My cat has just come in. Anyway, this is definitely a book I would, there he is. This is definitely a book I would also encourage people to use for junk journaling and giving these beautiful pages a little bit more of a an outing. Now I'd like to move on to something, well, literally just let's go to a different language. Just because it's in a different language doesn't really mean that you can't use it. It might actually be, or add some interest to your junk journal if you're using a different language. The following books, I was really lucky because I picked them up at the annual Christmas bazaar that my children's school organizes every year. And it was literally, whatever it was, I think €1 for paperbacks and €2 for hardbacks. And well, everybody apparently was throwing out their old botanical books. So this is all mushrooms, as a mushroom book. Well, okay, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of mushrooms, but well, for a couple of euro, this is certainly something usable. So anyway, this is really basically just to kind of encourage people to look beyond English language books. There's plenty of botanical books or animal encyclopedias in other languages, and you may be luckier, or they may be cheaper when you look for them on Amazon or eBay or places like that. Here is one such animal book, which doesn't necessarily have a lot of paper pictures, paper color pictures. There are some drawn color pictures, but most of it is actually black and white. But again, I mean, this is fabulous stuff for backgrounds, I suppose. And I mean, all these kind of look really nice if you use them in the winter for kind of Christmassy sort of tags. Oh, aren't they fun? Anyway, so this is another book not to ignore. Here, the next one, botany, and this is a bit more of a mixed bag in terms of, I think this is actually a school book, but again, some of this could be just kind of cut out some parts of it and used. I mean, this is a classic sort of botanical page. Oops, sorry. And then finally there is another one of these books with the unpronounceable whatever word, encyclopedia. And again, this is a book which I bought for $1.50 apparently. Oh, Jack, go on, move on. So plenty of beautiful birds here. Really like that. I like the bird section very much. And there's another, I've got part 2 of the encyclopedia here with lots of bugs and bees and beautiful butterflies and moths, crabs, all very pretty. So anyway, the point being that if you can't get something like the wildflowers that everybody seems to use, well, go and look for stuff in other languages, maybe in your own native language in case you're not American or Irish or British yourself, or Australian or New Zealand, whatever, wherever you may come from. But I think it might be worthwhile just actually looking at other languages and see what you can get there, because there's plenty of stuff, and I think a foreign language in a junk journal looks actually quite interesting. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents, and thanks for listening. Bye bye.